Everyone blames Johnny. That's not fair. All right, we all ready? Ready?
I don't need a mic or anything.
Yeah, no. All right. You're on. All right, welcome back to the Mike's Fitness Equipment Studio here at Team Vision TV 16. We all know it was windy outside all day long. Apparently the wind finally took its toll. It knocked off the power during our live broadcast. We had Coach Davey Hopkins from Citrus Hill live in studio. We just wrapped up. We were going to bring Coach Robles on from Paloma Valley Wrestling. And Coach, I've been in broadcasting. This will be my 20th year. I've never had the power to go out during the show. You're our first, so congratulations.
I feel honored.
But you're here. We want to talk Paloma Valley Wrestling, so we're going to keep going here on the Inland Sports Show. So this will be here on the YouTube channel if you want to check it out and if you want to share the link because the lights are out in the studio. But Johnny, our director here at Team Vision TV 16, has some portable battery-powered lights here. And Elijah, if you want, can you kind of just swing the camera around so that people can kind of see what we're dealing with? And you probably can't see much other than just like a really bright light and darkness all throughout the studio. But here we are. We got Coach Robles from Paloma Valley. Again, we're talking Wildcat Wrestling because they won the Ivy League Championship. Not once, not twice, what 3 times, right? A three-peat. Coach, talk about the three-peat and what you have going on right now at Paloma Valley because you're on a good roll.
I mean, it was amazing. It was probably the most exciting, tightest dual meet I've ever been a part of in my 15 years of coaching wrestling. It was 30-29. It came down to the very last match. League changed like, God, I can't even remember. And it came down to a freshman going on the mat. And, people that don't know wrestling, you score points when you win, but when you lose, you can minimize how much the other team scores in points. So you give up a pin, you give up 6 points, tag 5, major 4, and decision 3. And it came down to our freshman having to at least just not give up anything more than 3 points. He could win the match, but he could lose by 3.
Yeah, and still be okay.
Yeah, and with 20 or so seconds, he gave up a takedown, which was going to give up 4 points. And then literally 2 seconds before the match was over and the duel was over, he pulls off a reversal, gets on
for
top.
2 points, right?
And, yeah, and 2 points and makes it
to
where now we only gave him a decision. And I mean, he goes crazy, the crowd goes crazy. It was insane. And I had been telling people leading up to it, I don't know why, but I feel like three-peat that's the one where it's going to be hard. Like, there's just so much pressure on him. So it was pretty amazing.
And I know we can't see it right now because, again, the power is out here. But it was our spoiled slick play of the week was that the final match of your freshman, right? Getting the reverse for 2 points. So Temescal won that match by 2, right? I guess if you do
they won by less than 8. They have to win by less than 8 for us to get us to only give up a decision.
So that was our spoiled sick play of the week, but trust me, we'll put it on social media out there if you haven't seen it already. Dramatic finish there for Paloma Valley. Well, you said it was a 30-29, so
30-29.
It was a 1-point win.
1 point win.
In Temescal, when you look at the league, when you look at the Ivy League, was that your biggest competition? Did you know like they were going to give you
going into the season, we thought it was going to be Canyon Springs. I still think they're going to finish amazingly because there's still an individual part of the season. They got great coaching. They just have a lot of injuries. So we thought it was Canyon Springs. They fell into some injuries. And then I'm a football coach. So football, you always send people to go scout out teams.
Sure.
Wrestling, you can't exchange film stuff. So I sent a coach to go scout out Temescal, Canyon Springs. And then he texted me as soon as that match was over. We had our own match. And he's like, wow, Temescal Canyon just beat Canyon Springs. And that's when we turned our attention knowing that it was going to be
tough.
Temescal Canyon was going to be the team to beat.
And it was at Temescal Canyon, wasn't it?
Yes, it was at Temescal Canyon. So I mean, they had a lot of fans. We had a lot of fans. But yeah, so we didn't know there was a team to beat until about 2 weeks before that duel. But they got a young coach out there that's doing a great job.
So 3-peat in the Ivy League for Paloma Valley. So now you turn your attention to some of these individual and also team.
So we got CF duels this Saturday. Yeah. We're expected to be seated 4th.
In what division is it?
We're in Division 2, so it's really brutal.
Sure.
There's some great teams: Victor Valley, Palm Desert, Laguna Hills. So I mean, I think we got a shot to compete for a championship. We've never won one. We've been in the semis. We've been in the finals. But we have a great group and we have a resilient group. So we're going out this Saturday up to Victor Valley to compete for a CIF title, and then after that we'll start our individual season. with the boys. The girls actually start their individual season tomorrow at Paloma Valley because we have our league finals at Paloma Valley.
Okay, okay. I know, I've covered wrestling for a while, and I know the central section is obviously very good in high school wrestling, and there's some good teams. I'm thinking like Poway in San Diego area, but when you look at I know the southern section, but when you look specifically at the Inland Empire, there's a lot of good wrestling programs. I think we're underappreciated in terms of high school wrestling.
For sure. I think the Inland Empire is, as a whole, we put out so many wrestlers that are just amazing.
Yeah.
But everybody always thinks Poway. And then even
the Buchanans and the Bakersfields.
But we got our Temecula Valleys, us who I think we're developing into that program that people are starting to talk about. Canyon Springs has got a lot of history.
Yeah.
Temescal Canyon has history.
So those Big 8 league schools.
Yeah, I mean that whole Big 8 is always putting out a ton of boys. So and in girls wrestling, it's becoming too. The Inland Empire, we have the region that sends the most people to the CIF finals. So I agree. I think it's underappreciated. I think there's a lot of great wrestling here in the Inland Empire.
Wrestling, it's so individual. You almost feel like you're on an island because you're out there on the mat by yourself, but it truly is a team sport. You were talking about winning a team CIF championship, but you need all the wrestlers to do their job, right? I mean, to get those points. You talk about the difference between having that team approach, but still everyone individually has to do their part.
So the biggest thing I'll say, and I heard this from a great coach that I know, Andrew Holmes, he used to be at Citrus Hill. He talked about how in wrestling, you do everything as a team except for step your foot on the line and wrestle a match. You warm up together, you drill together, you hang out together, you weigh in together. Everything you do is a team except for when you go out there by yourself and have to go win that match. And so that's one of the things I think when you impress that as a team, as a coach, as a team, and you believe in that, you don't have a sense of being out on your own. And then when you step your foot on the line, you just kind of relax and focus and try to be the best individual you can be. But that's our thing at Paloma is we do everything as a team, and we are a team. And then, when you're out there on your own, you're just trying to do the best for yourself, but also for your team.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a lot of crossover guys, football and wrestling? Because we've seen a lot of guys make it to the NFL, and a lot of them have those strong wrestling backgrounds.
So I wouldn't say we have a large portion of our wrestling team is not football guys, but we do have some football guys, the freshmen that actually helped us get that win.
Do you encourage maybe the linemen?
He's a freshman quarterback that wrestles, and he actually started a game for us on varsity for Paloma Valley. And we have a linebacker that was a freshman too that started a couple games at varsity. Our heavyweight is a starting lineman. So we got some guys staggered in there, and I coach football as well, so we encourage those guys to come out. And I would say we get a handful of guys every year. So and those guys, the best part is they always go back out to football, and they produce in football coming out for wrestling. So
I remember seeing Kenny Clark, who's now a Pro Bowler for the Green Bay Packers. I think it was the Temecula Valley Battle for the Belt. And I'm like, this dude wrestles? Who's going to bring down Kenny Clark? So ever since then, I'm like, man, if a lineman, offense, defensive lineman, doesn't matter, man. If they wrestle and they're a great wrestler as well, just the lower body and the flexibility and the momentum.
It's all about that hand fighting. When you wrestle, you're one-on-one.
Yeah.
And you're wrestling guys your weight. So if you weigh 200, you're hand fighting with 200 pounders. And if you can hand fight in wrestling, you can go out and pass rush or pass pro easily out in football. So it carries hand in hand pretty good.
Now, I know the wrestling season, it's a long, challenging season. Now we're getting ready to go to, the postseason, Coach. Do you kind of, I don't want to say you stagger it, but do you try to consciously think, okay, I don't want to wear my guys out before we get to the postseason. I want them to be fresh, ready to go. You've got the league title in the bag. How do we stay fresh and be at our best now that we go to these postseason matches?
Absolutely. I mean, you hit it on the head. We do think of it as kind of 3 seasons, so it's kind of like pre-league season, then we think of the league, and then we think of the postseason, and we always talk about what's important. And for us, what we say is everything else, honestly, is practice except for league, CIF, Master State.
Sure.
The girls, it's called finals and before state, but that's what we're doing. So everything else is practice. So, since it is individual, we'll kind of sometimes take the breaks individually with different kids. So we'll sit out this girl or this boy for this tournament or that tournament, depending on what they got going on physically, if they're injured, or even if they got some personal stuff going on. We'll kind of break in to each individual, and we'll, as a staff, I have a great staff, by the way, we kind of just talk about where every individual's at. And when we talk about peaking at the right time, and I feel like for the most part, Paloma Valley, we tend to peak at the right time, which is right around now. You know, if you're a young wrestler, we should be peaking right about like last week. If you're a veteran wrestler, we want to be peaking pretty much in February because we want to peak, you know, try to be a CF champ, state meet, and all that good stuff.
Do you know if Paloma's ever had an individual state champ?
We've never had a state placer ever.
Okay.
We've had one individual CF champ. We've had 3 different boys go to state. We've had a variety of girls go to state in our short 5 years, but no state places yet. We do have 2 kids we have 2 boys in the top 20, and then we have 1 girl currently ranked in the top 8. So,
okay.
I mean, I think we're going to put at least 1 boy and 1 girl on the podium, if not maybe more this year on state meet. So we're hoping.
That's exciting.
We're hoping this is the breakthrough year.
That's exciting. Well, Coach, I appreciate you staying in the dark here on the Inland Sports Show. This is bizarre. Hopefully, if you're watching this live, it will load to YouTube, and we'll make sure we share this because I've never done a show with no electricity, sitting in a dark studio, which was so bizarre. But we appreciate you hanging out.
Appreciate you having us out, and you know, for me, get to brag about how awesome all our kids are.
I keep seeing how great Paloma Valley Wrestling was doing on Twitter. I'm like, we gotta get Coach Robles in the house. Like, what's it gonna take? We gotta get.
I got great kids, and yeah, whenever you want to bring me back, man, I'll try to make it back out of here.
We'll pay the electric bill next time, I promise, and we'll make sure we have the lights on. But I think that's Johnny back there, our director. I just see like this light floating in the darkness. There he is. Again, a big thanks to Coach Robles, Paloma Valley head wrestling coach here on the Inland Sports Show. Our spoiled slick play of the week was the final match against Temescal Canyon as the Wildcats won the Ivy League 30-29. And the lights are off! And our Mike's Fitness Equipment athlete of the week was Rancho Verde basketball player Derek Nettles. He had a game-winning basket against Valley View at the buzzer. So I want to give him a shout out, Derek, our Mike's Fitness Equipment athlete of the week. Holy smokes. Like, as we were wrapping up, so we finished with Davey Hopkins at Citrus Hill and the power goes off, and we finished with Coach Robles and the power comes back on. Like, you couldn't even time it like this. But we appreciate you watching. That's going to do it for the Inland Sports Show at the Mike's Fitness Equipment studio. Elijah, can you swing around to show people what it looks like now? I mean, the power's back on, but this is what the studio looks like normally. So, my name's Pep Fernandez for Coach Robles, everyone here at Team Vision TV 16. We appreciate you watching. We'll see you next Wednesday right here on The Big Show.